Hi, friends. I hope you're doing well. Just wanted to say thank you for being here. It means a lot to me that you are here and just kind of following this and coming along on this journey with me. I know a lot of it is random and a lot of it might not seem relatable at times. So I just thank you for being here and sticking with me and just being in this process with me. The support is huge, just knowing that you're there. So thank you for that. So as I mentioned on one of my TikToks, I've had a lot of changes in life lately, and as we all probably have, and I'm here to share a couple of them with you if you don't mind hearing this. So this particular journey or this chapter is about gender. So if you're interested in that part of my journey in my life, welcome. I'm happy to have you here and happy to have you on this journey with me. If not, hopefully there's something else that I can offer that will grab your attention better and, be something more relatable for you. But as for now, today, this one is about gender. So as you might have heard me mention before in my gender rants on my channel, I'm an NB person, non-binary person, and I've always been more mask presenting. So I guess if you want to be very specific, people might say an AFAB, mask presenting NB, but that doesn't make any sense to say AFAB or otherwise, in my humble opinion. So yeah, NB person. With that, I've always felt more masculine. Even as a child, I felt more masculine and never was quite able to present that or reflect that back into society at the level at which I felt it. I always felt like I was a little more mask inside than what I could portray out to society, if that makes any sense. I'm sure it'll make sense to some people, and others might be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Long story short, I knew I was different since I was little. I knew that I appreciated women, at least at age 4 or 5. So for the sexuality part, I had that down. Didn't have a word for it, but I knew it. The gender part, I also felt at a very young age, probably the same age. So as soon as I was able to start buying my own clothing or picking out my own clothing, I went straight to the men's section. There's not many options when it comes to clothing for gender neutral. I wish that there was a gender neutral section for the clothing, but it seems like when you go into stores, there's just a couple options. So I was raised in this binary, as we all probably were, and I understand this culture is very strict with this binary, so it's been very difficult just presenting as I do every day. Like just living outside that binary can get very hard. My journey has evolved, as I'm sure everyone's journeys do. I came out as gay when I was 16, but it wasn't until I was 30 or so that I started to hear the term NB or non-binary, and I actually never knew I had the option to use they them pronouns until maybe 10 years ago. So whenever Facebook changed their gender options to also include they them is when I chose that, and I don't know what year that was. So if anyone here could educate me on that timeline, that would be awesome. Until then, I never knew that neutral or they them could be an option. So trigger warning, there might be some mental and physical things stirred up here with all this, so I just wanted to throw that out there. If you want to skip past some stuff, won't offend me, and I'm here just to help see if anyone can relate to this. So yeah, I respond to any pronoun, but I really appreciate more neutral pronouns. So just recently, I would say within the past few months, I was told that one of our services where I live would offer HRT for people who are trans. And so I reached out to them for a consultation to see if they do for people who are NB and see if they talk about HRT for that. And they did. So they offered me a consultation. I took the consultation to learn more about microdosing on testosterone. Did a virtual consultation, and that went really well. The provider was really nice, and I'm thankful I got to do that consultation. Love wanted to say hello, so here's Love. Say hi. So in this consultation, I asked quite a few questions because microdosing with testosterone is something that I've thought about since I was younger. I thought about that since I was like 19 or 20 years old. I've been researching it since I was that young and watching YouTube videos of people who have been doing it since I was that young. So I was really interested in it. So I did this consultation. I asked her a bunch of questions and she really was helpful, and she told me about like different side effects that happen that people probably want when they're taking this medication. And I thought this could be cool. I could appreciate some of these subtle changes. For me, there's a lot of different factors that I really considered and really thought about when I was thinking about this HRT stuff. To make a long story short, I have gone about as this in society my whole life. So I have always presented pretty mask, yet I think half the time people acknowledge the AFAB part as well. So it goes about half and half from what I've gathered of how people are perceiving me in society, which makes sense. So that was nice just to understand that I'm already presenting as how I feel. I've been navigating the world this way, and socially I have learned to speak to people as I do, right? So I feel like I have privileges here and there with certain types of people who I talk to, and maybe can connect to and relate with different people on different levels because of how I'm presenting at this time, if that makes any sense. I'm trying to come up with an example. My mind keeps going back to mental health work. I did mental health work for quite a few years, and I really enjoyed doing this mental health work. And I've realized through this work that I can connect with and relate with people who may not otherwise connect with or relate with others easily. And that's a privilege that I didn't understand before. And I feel like people can approach me. I feel like I have an approachable spirit and personality. And I think that my appearance is masculine yet not threatening. And I think that also helps to be approachable and relatable too. So I'm thankful for that. Another huge thing that I thought about and considered before this HRT business is perception. My thing is, I don't want to have certain privileges in this world. I don't want to be perceived a certain way all the time. If that certain way gets me certain privileges. Ooh, so I'm just going to put it that way right now. Yes, I'm definitely different. I'm definitely a lot of minorities right now. And I can see how I could potentially be perceived as someone who is not a minority. And that worries me. And I just don't want to walk around with a certain privilege or even be perceived as someone who has that privilege, if that makes any sense. I feel like it's another part that makes me more approachable for people, especially when I'm in fields where I'm like wanting to help people on the front lines, you know what I mean? So yes, rambling aside, I want to be approachable. I want to be relatable with others of all different backgrounds. I don't want to look like a threat or be perceived as a threat. Those are some main things that I had to sit and think about there for a moment. Some of the subtle changes that I was hoping to achieve, maybe some fat distribution or the way that my body is built with narrower hips. That would have been appreciated. A lower voice might be helpful, not necessary. I feel like it could match my spirit a little better, to be honest. Just to present in a slightly more masculine way could really match my spirit a little better. I've had a lot of time to think about this. After I had my consultation, the provider put in the order for the prescription. I went to the pharmacy to fill my prescription. The person told me my insurance wouldn't cover it. I have 2 different insurance here, and neither of them would cover this medication. So the cheapest form of this medication comes in a vial, and they told me that was going to be over $300 out of pocket. So I wasn't able to pick up that medication that day. I then did another consultation for patches to see if that could be a route of administration that I could try as well, or instead of the vial. The patches are more expensive, so again, neither of my insurance would cover this this form of medication. So my insurance wouldn't cover either of them. So that was frustrating, and I could go on and on about our country and the healthcare system and insurance, but I'm not sure how helpful that would be. So I just have to be thankful that I had the opportunity to do these consultations. I learned a lot about this medication. I've had a couple months to think about this medication and what it could potentially do for my body and my mind and my spirit. And yes, I am a more masculine person. I present more masculine. It wouldn't hurt to be more masculine. But the thing is, I've gone this far. I've gone so many years as this person in this body, and I am doing okay. And it's not until now that I actually have been able to say that I'm okay, and that I'm okay in this body that I was given. So it took me a while to get to this point, to be able to say those words and to feel that it's okay either way. But I'm thankful that I am at this point, and I'm really thankful for the opportunities I did get. So yes, I feel like also I was blessed with certain qualities naturally that are more androgynous. So I'm definitely thankful for that. And I do understand that if something's meant to happen, that it will happen before I die. If not, this is what we got. So yes, that was my little journey thus far when it comes to gender. I do have a video about the top surgery consultation that I was able to do. The top surgery consult wasn't my favorite thing. So a bit of a mental health trigger warning on that one there. But yeah, I have that. I can also share that. As always, please let me know if any questions. I'm happy to connect with you. I'm happy to answer any questions. And I'm here for any resources. I love finding resources. And I have a great community here where I live of people who are really great with resources that I could help you with. So thank you for being here. And know you're much appreciated. Thank you for taking the time to hear this. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.